am I becoming? Am I on the right path? What's my purpose? Why do I feel so lost? These questions are associated with the Identity Center in Human Design, also known as the G Center. And today we are going into the depth of what it is. What exactly is the G Center? What does it mean if you have an undefined G Center and a defined G Center? And we're going to touch a little bit into how discovering and learning more about my G Center, how it has helped me completely shift my approach in life. So let's get into it. So the G Center is one of the 9 centers that we have in human design, and it governs 4 concepts: our identity, our direction, love, our purpose, and it all evidently highlights who we're becoming, who we are and who we're becoming. Some people have a defined G center, which means that they have a consistent sense of who they are. They're not easily moved based off of their environment and the people around them. Like, these people, they just know. They know who they are. They're not seeking outside themselves to understand who they are. You know what's for you and what's not, despite how many people you interact with and the people that you surround yourself with, despite their personalities. These folks do not shift. They're not shapeshifters, and they're big on individuality. They don't seek outside themselves for the answers or inspiration. Like, they are their own inspiration. People with undefined G centers are more prone to be influenced by their environment and people around them, because your center, it is the center that governs direction and sense of self. It is amplified by the others, amplified by the environment that you're in. So these people, they must be mindful about where they get their inspiration from, who are they around, the environments they're in. Very, very sensitive to forming ideas and opinion about ourselves based off of what people think about us or what is being said, right? And one thing I learned with this placement, because I have it, I'm an undefined G center, is that we are subjected to, like, what I would call it, analysis paralysis, where we feel like life is supposed to be this one specific direction, and if we don't know where we're going, we could easily feel like it's up for us, like it's like we are fucked. Like, we probably feel like us not knowing where to go, it triggers us so bad, because it's like that's our life. Like, like, what do you mean you don't know? But what I learned by reading up on undefined G center placements is that we are here to experience multiple paths, like variety of paths. Like, our path is not going to be one specific lane, and we may have things that we desire and we love. We may have a vision of how we want things to go, but evidently, me personally, I had to learn to, like, surrender, because life is just not going to unfold that way. Like, things change, things shift, and I had to learn to not be so rigid when it comes to, like, how I saw the end all be all, like how I saw where my path would be leading to. Evidently, I had to, like, be more open-minded of and more accepting that my path could go in any way. Like, there's many different directions to even get to one specific outcome. That's something that was huge for me, because like, some of us are very stubborn. We want things the way we want it, and we want the outcome to be the way we see in our heads. And so, yeah, I feel like learning more about undefined G center really helped me wrap my mind around the fact that it's okay if I don't know the next step. Like, it's okay if I don't know how things are going to unfold. Like, all I need to do is make space for me to know the next step and just keep going. And I feel like for us, life, that's where life unfolds. Like, life is not going to unfold by us just sitting around and contemplating it in our head. Like, we're meant to experience life. And the great thing about this placement is that along the way we pick up so much gems, so much wisdom that we could apply it to anywhere. We could share it with anyone. We come to find that we are very multifaceted, or we're very layered in a way, because it's all these experience and all this wisdom we take from it. It adds up, and we're able to use that to help others. We're able to use that to show different perspectives. Like, if you have a defined center, kudos to you. I really don't have anything crazy to say about that, because it's just like, you know who you are, you know. I mean, I think the only thing I could say to watch out for when it comes to defined centers is any stubbornness or feeling like, okay, because you know who you are and you sure about your path and everything, like, as like being closed-minded and not allowing yourself a chance to see different or multiple perspectives, you know. I would say that. But as far as undefined centers, we could get to a point where we overcompensate with in our heads with the mental activity that goes on with our heads, because we're so unsure. We're so unsure about how life is just gonna unfold, or the path where we don't have a clear direction. And so that could make us feel like, damn, I need to protect myself, so let me go and plan it out, mentally plan it out, and write down these 5-year plans, only to find out that life is going to show your ass. Like, life is going to show your ass. Like, that 5-year plan that you thought you're going to see, like, you know. And I feel like I had to get that shit beat out of me. Like life had to show me over and over again, like, shorty, you're not going to know. So what are you gonna do? Like, like, you know, like, are you gonna just like not do anything now, like, because you're scared of the outcome, because you don't have clarity of the outcome? Like, I had to surrender. I literally had to surrender to the fact that there's so many ways that this shit could go down. And I think my main thing was being prepared. I think I was preparing for the uncertainty. Like, if anything was to pop off, at least I had this backup. But that in itself, it takes so much time from you, from the present, because why are we planning for things to fail anyways, right? One. And there's another thing that I realized, like, that constant feeling of, oh, it's too late, feeling like you're behind, or you should have been somewhere or ahead by now. You should have been far gone into your journey by now. Or I saw a Threads post, and the post is basically like, how can you be behind in your own life? And I'm not gonna front. That ate. I feel like I freed myself from the overthinking, the overanalyzing, the over preparation. Like, I freed myself. And it made me feel so much more confident when it comes to, like, decision making. Like, I'm able to make my decisions even faster, as opposed to back then I would, like, have just be pondering, because afraid of making the wrong choice, afraid of, and honestly knowing that choices, what choices do, like, our choices create our reality, right? So not wanting to make the wrong choice was beating my ass, because then I would procrastinate, right? Here's the thing. There's no such thing as making the wrong choice. If anything, all we're doing is gathering information, gathering data, and applying them. So I was really doing myself a disservice by putting all that mental pressure on myself as a undefined G center that will only evidently find out what happens if I take the step, take the action, you know? So if you think about it, it's just very counterproductive and just not a healthy way of going about things. Especially as someone that's literally meant to just take that step in life and figure it out along the way, you know, meant to explore different aspects of themselves. Because here's the thing, you have an undefined G center, you're given the opportunity to get to know many different versions of you through different people. So you have people that will unlock these versions of you because you're amplifying, you know, you're taking in and you're amplifying. And then you have all of this necessary information from these different experiences that you can definitely utilize. It's all data, it's all information gathering. And when I started looking at it like that, I was like, I bet. Let's go collect some data. Like, let's go collect some information, you know? Let's talk about love because, you know, that's one of the aspects that the G Center covers. So if you think about the way that you love a defined G Center person, right? Their love expression is very consistent. It's like they have their specific way of expressing it to the point where it's just recognizable. Like it's like their signature. That's defined. Undefined center is the way that we love. It's often filtered based off of the people and the environment that we are in. Like, so if you're a type of person, different people bring different sides of you out. I recommend checking to see if you have an undefined G center. Certain people will probably think you're boring or you don't like certain, like you're bland or you won't have a personality. Let you get around the right person in the right environment. Out of nowhere, personality, energy. Like, who is this? And people probably call you fake and think that you know, you was hiding who you are. But most times I just feel like it's just energy. It's also feeling of being safe. Like, I personally, naturally, the vibes ain't right, I'm mute. And not even on purpose. I legit don't have nothing to say, so I'm not gonna force myself to say anything. I'm not gonna force the personality. And quite frankly, not everybody deserves your personality. Not everybody deserves to experience that, you know. And you will tell by the vibes based off of how you're feeling when you're around them. You just tell. Like, undefined centers are here to express different versions of love. And when it comes to purpose, right? Not in a sense of career, but more so having an idea of legacy, right? What do you desire to leave behind? Defined centers have a consistent, like, inkling on what they're called here to do. And let's say they don't, like, let's say like they're still unaware what that calling is. They know what they want to do though. They know what they like though. They know like their desires, they know what their interests are. Very, very confident in that knowing, which will eventually allow your purpose to unfold. Undefined centers, we do not just wake up and be like, oh, I want to do this, I want to be this. Like, over time, through different experiments and through our curiosity, through simply allowing ourselves to go out there and experience, we realize that the idea of what our purpose could be tends to unfold naturally as we go out there and explore. And you take these skills or just things that you learn from these different experiences, right? And then soon you realize these different experiences, they gave you skills, they gave you wisdom, they gave you opportunities that evidently leads you to what you desire, what you call purpose. It's almost as if these experiences were guiding you all along. So in other words, for defined, I know who I am, my purpose unfolds from there. Defined centers, your purpose unfold from you knowing who you are, what you like, what you desire. Undefined, I discover who I am by living, and my purpose reveals itself along the way. So undefined centers, you find out more of who you are through exploring, through experimenting, through allowing yourself to just take in all the information from these experiences and watch as it all unfolds. Please take a look at that G center. We covered the head and ajna, which makes up the mind. So if you missed that video, please feel free to take a look at it. This series specifically, I really wanted to dive into all the centers. I'm not going in order. I'm just going in what I feel called, and I immediately felt like that G center stood out. You know, we focus on the mind. Let's focus on that sense of that GPS system, as I like to call it. Let's focus on that and go even further, right? Because the channels and the gates, right? The gates is basically there to show you how this energy is uniquely being expressed through you. So it's not being expressed the same way within everyone else. So take a look further into your chart to understand what gates you have in your undefined or defined center. I want to just leave you guys off with this. Regardless of whether you have an undefined or defined center, human design is not telling you who to be or how to be. It's just showing you how you naturally navigate through life. If there's anything I want you to take from this video, is a reminder that you do not have to solve your whole life or figure out where you're going in one night, 1 week, 1 month. All that you need to do is get grounded on a decision and take that step. The next aligned step is all you need, and that's enough. Thank you guys for joining me. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to let me know in the comments below if anything resonates. Let me know what center you would like for me to cover next. I didn't get the idea yet. I'm waiting for it to come to me. But if you guys let me know what center you are excited to learn more about, I will definitely come through with the video. So thanks again for joining me, guys. See you guys soon.